Think retirement in Florida means golf carts and gated communities. Think again. There are towns in Florida so forgotten, so wonderfully weird, they don't even show up properly on most travel websites. We're talking about places where your biggest decision is whether to kayak before or after your morning coffee. Where your neighbor might be an artist, a fisherman, or someone who just vanished from corporate America and never looked back. Today, we're diving into Florida's best-kept secrets. 5 towns that offer something most retirement destinations can't: authenticity, affordability, and a chance to actually disappear into the life you want. No HOA drama, no cookie-cutter condos. Just real Florida before it got polished for brochures. Let's get into it. Starting at number 5, Dunedin. First thing you need to know: this town literally has Scottish bagpipe festivals in Florida. Yeah, wrap your head around that. Dunedin sits on Florida's Gulf Coast, and it's got this bizarre mix of old-world charm meets beach town casual. We're talking craft breweries, a walkable downtown that actually feels European, and the Pinellas Trail running right through it for miles of car-free biking. The numbers: the population is around 36,000, with a median home price of approximately $425,000. A one-bedroom rent is about $1,600 a month, and the crime rate is 30% lower than the national average. Now here's what makes Dunedin special. It's one of the few Florida towns that banned chain stores in its historic downtown. So instead of the usual Starbucks and Chipotle lineup, you get locally owned cafes where the owner knows your name by week 2. The beaches. Honeymoon Island and Caladesi Island are consistently rated among America's best. Crystal clear water, white sand, and on weekdays, practically deserted. The reality check: parking downtown is a nightmare on weekends. The Scottish influence means you'll be hearing bagpipes whether you want to or not. And yes, it's gotten pricier as people discovered it's not just another beach town. But here's the thing: Dunedin gives you culture, community, and coastline without feeling like a retirement resort. You're living in a real town that happens to be perfect for slowing down. Number 4, Punta Gorda. On the surface, it looks like every other Florida waterfront town. Boats, retirees, palm trees swaying. But here's what nobody tells you. After Hurricane Charlie destroyed it in 2004, Punta Gorda rebuilt smarter than almost anywhere else in America. We're talking LEED-certified buildings, solar-powered public spaces, and a walkable downtown that was actually designed by urban planners, not developers trying to maximize profit. Let's look at the numbers. The population is about 20,000, and a one-bedroom rents for a median of $1,400 a month. The crime rate is a staggering 41% lower than the national average. The median age is 65, so yes, it's definitely retirement-friendly. What's wild is the sustainability commitment. Native plant landscaping everywhere, bike paths that actually go places useful, and an air quality index that's among Florida's cleanest. The downsides: speed limits are glacial. I'm talking a squirrel on rollerblades could outpace traffic. The median age means things shut down early. And if you're not into boating or fishing, you might run out of activities fast. But if you want your retirement to feel responsible, forward-thinking, and still ridiculously comfortable, Punta Gorda figured it out. It's what happens when a town learns from disaster instead of just rebuilding the same mistakes. Number 3, Micanopy. Population 630. That's not a typo. Micanopy is Florida's oldest inland town, and it feels like time decided to take a permanent vacation here. Moss-covered oak trees, antique shops outnumbering everything else, and a pace of life so slow it makes meditation look frantic. This isn't a retirement community. It's a town that happens to be perfect for people who figured out that rushing is optional. As for the numbers, the median home price is around $295,000, while rent for a one-bedroom is about $1,050 a month. The crime rate is 50% below the national average, and the cost of living is 10% under the U.S. average. Here's what you get: front porches, real ones, where people actually sit. A main street that looks like it was built for a movie set but is completely authentic. And neighbors who wave not because they want something, but because that's just what you do. The trade-offs. Wi-Fi is optimistic. Streaming anything is an exercise in patience. The job market doesn't exist unless you're remote or independently wealthy, and your closest Walmart is a 20-minute drive. But that's the whole point. Micanopy forces you to unplug, to read instead of scroll, to talk instead of text. For some people, that sounds like retirement heaven. For others, it sounds like punishment. You'll know which one you are within 5 minutes of arriving. Number 2. Apalachicola. This is the Florida town that works for a living and doesn't apologize for it. Apalachicola used to produce 90% of Florida's oysters. Then the bay collapsed in 2012. But instead of turning into a ghost town, it's pivoted, adapted, and kept its soul intact. This is a working waterfront town. Real boats, real fishermen, real industry. Let's check the numbers. The population is around 2,300. The median home price is about $310,000, with rent around $1,200 a month. The crime rate is 15% lower than the U.S. average. What makes Apalachicola different is the authenticity. No fake pirate ships, no dolphin tours marketed to tourists. It's just old wooden buildings, fresh seafood markets, and people who know how to fix a boat engine and debate local politics in the same conversation. The downtown has that weathered charm you can't fake. Art galleries next to oyster shacks, historic theaters that still host live music, and a community that actually shows up for town hall meetings. The reality: humidity isn't just present, it's oppressive. Mosquitoes are biblical. And the town's future depends on environmental factors mostly outside its control. Rising sea levels, water management issues, restoration efforts, it's all real and ongoing. But here's why it makes the list. Retiring to Apalachicola means you're not just moving somewhere pretty. You're joining a community that's fighting to preserve something authentic. It's not passive retirement. It's engaged, grounded, and deeply meaningful if you're looking for purpose with your peace. And our number 1 hidden gem, Cedar Key. Cedar Key has been about to be discovered for 40 years, and it has absolutely no interest in being discovered. No Starbucks, no traffic lights, no Instagram influencers screaming into cameras. Just a salty, low-moving island town off Florida's Gulf Coast that feels like it got lost in 1970 and decided to stay there. The numbers are telling. A population of just 700, a median home price of $330,000, and rent around $1,200 a month, if you can even find a place. The crime rate is 60% below the national average. Cedar Key runs on oysters, sunsets, and a collective agreement that progress is overrated. The biggest event all year is Clamfest. Yes, really. And yes, people plan their lives around it. This is old Florida, before Disney, before development, before Florida became a brand. You've got weathered fishermen, working docks, artists who've genuinely unplugged, and locals who look at you suspiciously if you ask where the shopping mall is. The challenges: you're an hour from any major store. Internet is present, but barely. Services are limited. Entertainment is whatever you make it. But that's exactly why it's number 1. Cedar Key isn't trying to be anything other than what it is. There's no marketing team, no development plan, no vision board for 2030. So there you have it. 5 Florida towns that didn't make it onto the glossy retirement brochures. Dunedin for culture and community. Punta Gorda for sustainability with comfort. Micanopy for radical simplicity. Apalachicola for purpose and authenticity. And Cedar Key for complete disconnection from the modern retirement industrial complex. Here's the thing about these places. They're not perfect. They're not trying to be. But they offer something most gated communities and planned developments can't. They're real. Real people, real history. Real quiet. Real life. The best retirement destinations aren't the ones with the biggest advertising budgets. They read the ones where you wake up and forget what day it is because it genuinely doesn't matter anymore. If you're tired of the retirement script everyone else is following, maybe it's time to find a town that doesn't even know there is a script. Like this video if you're ready to retire somewhere real. Subscribe so you don't end up in another cookie-cutter community. And comment which town surprised you most. Thanks for watching. Now go find your hidden gem.